thermostat clicks, the gavel in the hall, marking time while you stare at the cracks in the drywall. I poured 2 cups, but I drank them both. A silent treaty, a broken oath. We used to be fireworks, chaotic and loud.
Now we're just politely navigating a crowd
of unwashed dishes and unpaid bills, swallowing the silence like bitter pills.
Gravity is heavy when the foundation shakes. How much pressure for the structural beam breaks? We're suspended in the amber of who we used to be, trying to swim upstream in a dry concrete sea. Oh, I'm scraping my knuckles on the rust, just trying to hold on to us. You check your watch like you're missing a train, but we haven't bought tickets since the heavy rain of 2015, when the roof caved in and we laughed about sleeping in the recycling bin. Now you're speaking headlines, summaries of your day, while I'm editing the subtitles of things I don't say. The geometry of our bodies in this queen-size bed is a map of the territories we're too scared to tread. Gravity is heavy when the foundation shakes. How much pressure for the structural beam breaks? We're suspended in the amber of who we used to be, trying to swim upstream in a dry concrete sea. Oh, I'm scraping my knuckles on the rust, just trying to hold on to for those who don't feel the slow oxidation of the automobile. I don't want the sunset, I want you to look at the pages I'm tearing out of our history book.
Where distinct lines
that forgot to intersect,
a masterpiece
of neglect waiting to wreck.
But I'm still standing here, keys in the door,
asking if you remember what we're fighting for.
I'm not letting go
Of the wheel, but the car isn't moving. Tell me what's real.
It's the dust on the shelf, it's the ghost in the frame.
It's the fact that you hesitate to whisper my name.
We are architects of a house falling down, kings and queens of a ghost town. Give me a reason,
Give me a sign
before we cross
that invisible finish line.
drywall is cracked.
I'm still here, I'm not looking back. Hold on, just hold on. Sounds like heavy water leaking through the floorboards, shaking the frames. I haven't learned how to be a distinctive daughter of the noise, of the city, of the names. So I count the threads on your flannel sleeve, 144 ways to leave. But I stay right here, anchored by the weight of your hand, resting heavy on the dinner plate. We don't need the vocabulary of the street, just the radius where our two shadows meet. Nothing to solve, nothing to solve, just close to you. Close to you.
I watch your eyes darting like trapped birds, seeking an exit in the grammar of the crowd. Now the silence is heavy, hanging without words, a velvet curtain dropping thick and proud. The coffee on the table is turned to cold mud, but I can hear the rhythm slowing in your blood. The architecture of your shoulder blocks the light, building a fortress for the middle of the night. Let the phone buzz against the wood, let the world go misunderstood. We are static in the womb, gravity is finally full. We don't need the vocabulary of the street, just the radius where our two shadows meet. Nothing to solve, nothing to solve, just close to you. Close to you. Peace was a lack of war, but it's active, it's a hum, it's a closed door. Your breathing is a metronome I didn't set, catching the panic in a safety net. I trace the scar on your knuckle with my thumb, waiting for the siren that will never come. You trace the scar, I trace the line of your jaw, rewriting the evening and without any law of expectation or performance or wit. We don't have to talk about any of it.
The ceiling fan circles a lazy eye, watching the hours gently die. Vocabulary of the street inside the radius where our two shadows meet. Nothing to solve, nothing to solve, just close to you. Close to you. It's the frequency, it's not the hiding, it's the decency of knowing where the edges are, of being the only visible star in a room blackout dark. We are the arc, we are the spark that doesn't burn, just glow.
The radiator's hissing like a snake in the dark. Steam rising up to meet the lack of a spark. We killed the engine 3 miles back just to listen to the silence crack. You're staring through the windshield at the city dead, a grid of shadows where the neon bled. Grip on the floor,
I'm floating toward an unlocked
so anchor the weight before the atmosphere breaks,
before the timeline bends and the memories shake.
Keep the blood moving, keep the signal light. Just hold my hand tonight. I remember the map we drew on the coffee receipt, before the static took over the passenger seat. You're tracing circles on your denim jeans, lost in the gap between the seams. I got a flashlight dying in the glove box deep, but I'm terrified if I blink you'll fall asleep.
It's not the sleep I'm scared of, it's the waking up wrong, like a melody separated from its song. The asphalt is breathing, I can feel the lungs speaking in forgotten rusty tongues. If I let go now, I'll drift past the moon, satellite lost in a quiet afternoon.
Physics are failing, the numbers don't add.
I'm the only constant that you've ever had.
So anchor the weight before the atmosphere breaks,
Before the timeline bends and the memory shakes.
don't let the static swallow the sight. Just hold my hand tonight.
I can feel your pulse kicking against my thumb.
The sirens in the distance are starting to hum.
You are not a ghost, you are flesh and bone.
Then why do I feel like I'm sinking alone?
Look in my eyes, ignore the void outside.
The darkness is rising like a chemical tide.
Lock the fingers, fuse the nerves, steer the crash through the dangerous curves. We are the battery, we are the wire, setting the breakdown lane on fire. Don't dissolve into the gray. Stay right here, stay, stay, stay.
If the pavement turns to water and the
the color returns to your eyes. Just the grip, just the skin. Don't let go, let me in. Hold my hand tonight. Just hold my hand tonight.
The coffee in your mug has lost its steam 3 times today. You're staring at the bookshelf like the titles drifted away. I trace the shadow of the window frame across the floor. It took an hour to reach the gap beneath the door.
I want to ask you what you're thinking, but I choke on the heavy gray suspension of the words we never spoke. The air is thick enough to lean on, static in the room. We are satellites in orbit, spinning through the gloom.
So keep me close beneath the noise of passing cars. Align my gravity to yours before we drift too far. Anchor my wrist to the table edge. Don't let me float across the ocean, widening inside this little boat.
Keep me close. I hear you breathing, but it sounds like radio delay. A signal from a station that is 50 miles away. My phone is lighting up the ceiling with a ghost of blue. I'm scrolling through the strangers just to find a trace of you.
I didn't mean to build a fortress out of tired sighs, or hide the panic rising up behind my heavy eyes. It's just the city gets so loud inside my head sometimes. I lose the rhythm of our history, I lose the rhyme. So keep me close beneath the noise of passing cars. Align my gravity to yours before we drift too far. Anchor my wrist to the table edge. Don't let me float across the ocean, widening inside this little boat.
Keep me close.
Driving south, the man dashed on your knees. The way the sunlight shattered through the tunnel of the trees.
We didn't need a language then, the silence wasn't sharp. Now every quiet moment feels like plucking at a harp.
With rusted strings that snap before the melody begins. I'm cataloging all my doubts, I'm counting up my sins.
I'm terrified that comfort is a mask for indifference, that we are standing on the borders of a past tense. Reach out your hand and break the surface tension of the air. Prove to me that underneath the habit you are there.
but you feel like a phantom limb.
I'm fighting through the thick of it.
The lights are getting dim.
I won't let the current take us out.
Then shout it so I know we are the only thing that matters in the undertow. Tear down the silence, throw the brick through the glass. Don't let this moment be the one that comes to pass. Exhausted soldiers resting at the bottom of the well.
But your hand is warm in mine. The signal is returning through the static and the frost. I feel the embers burning and you kept me close.
Beneath the noise of passing cars, align my gravity to yours. We didn't drift too far. Anchor my wrist to the table edge. You wouldn't let me float across the ocean, winding inside this little boat.
You kept me close.
Yeah, kept me
close. Yeah, you kept me close. Just the breath between us. Just the breath close.
that sudden shift in the gravity of the room.
If you feel it,
The static electricity blooming in the gloom.
don't let it settle like dust on a shelf. I can't carry this frequency all by myself. If you feel it, just nod. I'm holding my breath so you might hear the rhythm of my thinking. The ice is melted in the glass, the coaster is soaking and sinking. You're looking at the window, I'm looking at the side of your face, calculating the distance, the terrifying shortness
cross this line, I'm writing all the scenes. But the air is too heavy, the oxygen is getting thin. I'm tired of standing on the porch, I need to come in.
I'd rather come the map and stay parked in this driveway, watching the street lights flicker, doing it your way. My hand is on the cushion, inches from your own. Pick up the signal, I'm tired of broadcasting alone.
My throat is dry,
My hands are cold,
the truth is a story
it needs to be told.
if I lean forward.
I won't pull back.
We are the train running out of the track.
If you feel it, the collapse of the walls we designed. If you feel it, the erasing of the border in the mind.
Burn the dust off the shelf.
We don't have to carry this frequency by ourselves. If you feel it, we're here.
It's not just in my head,
It's in the room.
it's not just in my head.
It's in the blue.
If you feel it, I feel it. I put the deadbolt on, the third one down, the metal coat against a thumb that's tired of scrolling. We watch the moving vans eat up the street below, swallowing the neighbor's hole, rolling toward the suburbs.
But the coffee in this mug hasn't lost its heat yet, and the light hits the floorboards exactly where your feet set. So let the rent notices stack like yellow leaves in the hall. I'm not answering the knock, I'm not answering the call. If the world spins fast, let it spin without us. Gravity doesn't work inside this room. I'll stay, you stay.
We'll cultivate the dust in the afternoon gloom, make a garden out of silence and a fortress out of sheets.
I'll stay, you stay, until the timeline breaks or the rhythm retreats. My phone has been buzzing on the kitchen top for days, like a trapped insect trying to fly back to the hive. They wanna know if I got the promotion, if I'm still alive.
But I'm just watching the way your breath moves the air.
Static in the carpet, static in my head. We cancel the subscription to the future tense. Trade the 401k for a moment that makes sense. Just the hum of the fridge and the shadow on your cheek. I haven't looked at a calendar in almost a week. If the world spins fast, let it spin without us. Gravity doesn't work inside this room. I'll stay, you stay.
We'll cultivate the dust in the
Afternoon gloom, make a garden out of silence and a fortress out of sheets. I'll stay, you stay, until the timeline breaks or the rhythm retreats. We're running out of milk, but we have plenty of time.
tracing patterns on the ceiling, finding shapes in the ground.
The city is a monster that demands to be fed.
So we'll starve it out and hide beneath the
just the wind.
It sounds like everyone we used to know.
Let them go.
Let them go.
The paint is peeling in the corner like a sunburned skin.
And we don't know where the story ends or where we begin.
Are we prisoners or kings of this little square mile?
Preserving a perfect apathy, a museum style.
We miss the weddings, the funerals, the births and the wars, just to keep the sanctity of these locked doors. If the world spins fast, let it spin without us. Gravity doesn't work inside this room. I'll stay, you stay. We'll cultivate the dust and the afternoon gloom. Make a garden out of silence and a fortress out of sheets. I'll stay, you stay, until the timeline breaks or the rhythm retreats. I'll stay,
Watching the dust settle,
you stay,
ignoring the phone.
I'll stay,
The coffee is cold,
you stay.
finally home.
We are finally home. I'll stay, you stay.